Picture this for a moment. You've got a buddy. Let's say his name is, I don't know, Jerry. I think that's a good name. You and Jerry love to hang out. You guys go out on the town, grab drinks every now and then, and you have a great time with Jerry. You don't spend every waking moment of your life with Jerry, but you hang out with him quite a bit. He's one of your best mates. Well, over time, you notice Jerry's drinking a little too much. He's drinking a lot. He's getting rowdy. He's doing things that really aren't Jerry. After a while, it becomes a real problem. So you go to Jerry and you say, hey, Jerry, I've kind of noticed this. We're having fun, but I've noticed some issues starting to creep up. Maybe we should slow down. Jerry says no. Jerry's going to keep doing his thing, and you decide, okay, maybe I just need to give Jerry some space. So you stop hanging out with him. A few months pass, and you see Jerry again. He's like, hey, man, sorry about that. I got out of hand. I got out of control, but I'm better now. So, okay, great. That's good. It's good to know that your buddy Jerry's good. So you go back to hang out with Jerry, and he's right. Things are good. Jerry's better. Jerry's not making those bad decisions anymore. So you hang out. But slowly over time, you see those issues pop up again. And for a while, you're like, no, it's all right. He's struggling. He's battling through it, but he's going to be better. He's better now. But the problems keep coming up. They keep happening. Soon, you got to break it off with Jerry again. Hey, Jerry, this is just too much. So you don't see Jerry for a year. Come back and, hey, Jerry's really fixed himself up this time, and, he doesn't have a drinking problem anymore. Great. We go out and you hang out with Jerry, and then you notice that he starts shooting up some heroin. Whoa, Jerry, what's going on, man? Oh, well, that's just the way it goes. So you decide, well, maybe it's not all that bad. Maybe it was just this one-time thing. He was just trying something, and he's not going to stick with it. We hang out with Jerry again, and there he goes again. He starts shooting up heroin. So you decide, nope, Jerry, I'm not going to hang out with you. It's not good for you. It's not good for me to be around that. No. Well, this goes on and on. See Jerry, he's fixed himself up, and then he goes back down a bad trail. And you really like Jerry. Jerry's a great guy. You have fun with Jerry. But he's just making these decisions. He's making these choices that you just can't get on board with. And this keeps happening. You run into him, and you're like, hey, man, how you been? And he's better. Man, he's kicked these bad habits, and he's on the right track of life. So you hang out with him, and everything's good. But sure enough, again, he always gets back into something. Well, then you don't see Jerry for a few years. He's kind of out of your mind. You haven't thought about him in a while. And then you see him. He's driving a nice car. He's got married recently. Got a really nice house. And you're like, what was that? Is that Jerry? So you go up to Jerry and you chat with him. And he's like, oh, yeah, man, here's all the things I've done with my life. I've gotten off of the heroin. I don't drink anymore. I'm straight edge. I do this. I do that. And you're like, man, he's been going out to the gym. He's been working out. Man, Jerry's got a good life. So you say, you know what? I'm proud of Jerry. I'm proud that Jerry has beaten all these addictions, all these bad things. So you go and hang out with Jerry. One last, hey, you know what? For old time's sakes, Jerry, I'm going to hang out with you. And you're a little worried. Because you're a little worried when you hang out with Jerry that he's going to do something he shouldn't do. And you hang out with him all day, all night, and guess what? Jerry doesn't do anything bad. Stand-up citizen. He's a great guy. And you're like, man, he really did it. It took him a long time. Took him quite a few years, but he really did it. He's turned out to be, a spectacular, great guy. Then the next morning when you wake up, you turn on the TV, and, hey, there's Jerry on the TV. Oh, man, he just got busted for being a criminal overlord of the cocaine business. 25 people have gone missing because of him. Okay, all right, well, I guess some things never change. That's a really long analogy for how I feel about Destiny. Destiny is a game that I started playing back when it first came out I believe it was 2014. I remember it vividly because growing up I never played the Halo games, and I felt like I kind of missed out on playing them. And I wanted my own franchise that I could jump in with. Destiny was announced, and I remember specifically saving my money for a PlayStation 4, because all I had at the time was a Nintendo Wii. But saving my money specifically for a PlayStation 4 so I could play Destiny. Destiny came out, and I played it, and I loved it. Yes, it was in really rough shape, and they should not have launched it, But at the time, as a kid, I didn't really understand that. But I had fun with it. I started following all these different creators, like My Name is Bife and Dado, and all these other great guys, Astrocross, just fantastic creators in the earlier days of Destiny. And I loved Destiny, and I played Destiny religiously. It is one of the only games that I played throughout those years of my life. And I loved it so much. I played every expansion, no matter how bad it was, no matter how good it was. I would always look past the bad stuff and always play no matter what. Somebody said Destiny was bad, I'd say, no, it's not. You just don't understand. Destiny was my jam. Destiny 2 got announced then. Super excited for it. I was ready to play. The game came out and I hadn't bought it yet, and I saw the reviews and I thought, whoa, we're right back where we started. And so in a surprising twist, I actually didn't play Destiny 2 when it first came out. I actually got into it when the Warmind DLC was launched, which was not, the highest point in the franchise, but it definitely wasn't the lowest point in the franchise. But I started playing it, and I fell in love with it again. I was like, man, this is what I've been missing in life. Just this world that I can get lost in, this expansive lore, and this game that, while, yeah, it may have a really bad story and a tough time communicating things to its player base, it feels good. That's something about Destiny. It's always felt good. Art direction is great. Sound direction is great. It's always got that, in its corner. Well, I kept playing the game, and then the Forsaken DLC launched. Absolutely amazing. It was, for me, it was just such a high. It was an amazing experience to be able to play that and to experience such a turning point for the Destiny community. Then Shadowkeep came out, and the reviews started releasing, and I thought, you know what, maybe I need a little bit of a break from Destiny. Maybe I need a break from the game, from the community, just to give myself a little time off. After Shadowkeep came Beyond Light. And I remember when Beyond Light came out because I was hooked. I thought, darkness powers? Yes, sir. Sign me up. And I played that thing like crazy. But again, at the end of that expansion, I needed a little break. And so I took a break when the Witch Queen launched. I did end up getting Witch Queen probably maybe a month or 2 months after it originally launched, and played through it and had just a blast. I thought, man, Bungie's on a roll. They got it. They're doing good. I was so excited. I even got 2 of my really good friends to start playing the game with me, especially because I was hyped at the announcement of Lightfall. Man, still to this day, those trailers for Lightfall, probably some of the most hyped I've ever been for a game in general. And Lightfall came out, and it was bad. Let's not... I'm not going to be like I was when Destiny first came out and defend it. It was bad. It was not good. It was not what we, the fans, deserved. So I was really upset. My buddies were upset. They never played Destiny again. And honestly, I don't blame them for that. And then we got look at the final shape. And I thought, you know what? 10 years I've poured of my life into this game. I might as well see it out to the end of this kind of story. And the final shape launched, and honestly, as a person who can look back at Destiny and see how bad it had been, it really was, for me, a 9 out of 10. It was such a love letter to the community, to all the good things that Bungie had done and all the bad things that they had done, to say, here it is, this is the ending, we're gonna wrap this up and we're gonna do it right. And they did. This was the moment where you see Jerry and you're like, Jerry's good, He's been working out. He's in good shape. He's not hooked on any of that bad stuff anymore. He's married, got a nice car, got a nice house. You hang out with Jerry, and it's great. You play through the final shape. It is fantastic. Go, this is it. They did it. They found it. It took them 10 years, and I was rooting for him, and sometimes I wasn't rooting for him. Sometimes I had to look away and be like, I can't look at Jerry right now. But they made it. They did it. And then just like with Jerry, after you see that greatness, they go out and burn it all down, And obviously it's not the actual people who are developing the game Destiny 2. Nobody sets out to make a bad game. They are there doing what they can, but it's the upper management of Bungie that time and time again has just baffled me in the decisions that they make. Now, I understand they're a business and they're run by businessmen, and businesses run via money, and businessmen want money. I get it. I mean, I have a job. I want to make money. I love my job. I think it's a great cause, but I also need to pay the bills at the end of the day. But my bills are, electricity, water, food to feed my family, not, $1 million cars that I'm going to buy. That way I can lay off almost, 40% of my staff over the last 9 months. Obviously, I'm frustrated. And at this point, I'm so frustrated with the way Destiny has been handled by the higher-ups at Bungie that I think it's time for me to finally just say goodbye to Jerry. I will always love Jerry. I will always remember the fond times that I had with Jerry. I will remember the bad times as well. But at the end of the day, even if Jerry made a great comeback, still at the end of the day, he burned it down to the ground. Even if there are more good memories with a game like Destiny and Destiny 2, and I still love the community, and I still love the lore and keeping up with it, at the end of the day, the people in charge, the higher-ups, people like Pete Parsons, just burned it down. And I think they knew that. I think he knew that. I think he knew no matter what they did with the final shape, no matter how good the final shape was, no matter how much of a masterpiece it was, this was the end. And it's okay for things to end. It's all right for a franchise to have a closing point, or at least a point where they say, hey, this is where we wrap things up. We're going to support it a little bit here and a little bit there, but this is kind of the end. That's fine to have that. And if that's what they decided to do with the final shape for Destiny 2, I would have been happy. If they said, hey, this is it. This is the end. We're going to slow down production. We're going to wrap things up. This is it. I would have said, okay, I'm here for it. But they didn't. Instead, they said this is the finale of this chapter of the story, and there's so much more coming down the road. And then they collectively just crapped the bed. Again, not the developers, but the higher-ups, the people in charge. So to see Bungie basically be a shell of what it was, to see Destiny kind of thrown off to the wayside as money is moved around and people like Pete Parsons are able to buy more cars, at this point, I'm just sad. And I think at this point, there's only one thing for me to do, and that's to say goodbye to Destiny. I love Destiny. Like I said, I will always love the community. I'll probably still keep up with the lore and pop my head in here and there and say, hey, what's going on with Destiny, But playing the game, I don't know. I think at this point, it's too late. And again, it's not the developer's fault. It's not the person who decides what the weapon is going to sound like or how fast you can run or what the new Sparrow is going to be or things like that. It's none of those people. Those people are doing their job. Those people want to make a video game. Those people want to have us enjoy their game. But it's the higher-ups. It's the people in charge that just don't care. And to that I say, fine. If you don't care about me, then I just won't play your game. Voting with your wallet is the most important thing you can do with modern media. And so, after 10 long years of love and hate, I'm going to stop voting for Destiny. I'll still love it, but it doesn't get my vote anymore. So thank you, Destiny. Thank you to the community and to the game and to the people who actually made the game. For all the wonderful memories, all the raids that I watched on day one, all the strikes that I struggled to get past, all the times that I pulled my hair out when playing the Crucible for some reason. Thank you. Thank you for 10 years of great memories, for 10 years of my childhood into adulthood, for teaching me things and showing me how to have fun. Thank you so much. I hope you get better, but I don't think we can be friends anymore. So, good luck.